Hey guys, I'm back with another benchmark video in Warzone, but this time we'll take a look at the 5950X and RTX 3090 Strix OC combo in Verdansk. Now you might have already heard about all of the performance issues that plague Warzone and various ways to fix them, but there are just some issues that can't be fixed, at least not by us, the players. A lot of the stuttering and extremely low FPS situations can be resolved, but in this video, you'll see that for some reason, there are areas that perform the same or even better on 1440p than on 1080p. I don't have an explanation for this, but I've tried various things like disabling SMT, setting it to a single CCD so it only uses 8 cores, and then changing the advanced configuration file to match those 8 cores and testing it separately. Fun fact real quick, that makes performance even worse than my 5800X at stock, which is an 8-core CPU. So the advanced configuration file should be set to the total number of physical cores with SMT enabled and all CCDs enabled as well. Anything other than those settings will cause performance issues. If you have an 8GB VRAM GPU, you might also want to set the memory scale to 0.55 to see if that helps resolve some stuttering issues you might be facing. To find that file, go to your Documents folder and then inside of your Modern Warfare folder, and then finally inside of the Players folder. So yeah, the performance at 1080p is almost completely useless to do as a benchmark while it's broken like this. I can stand in the same spot, switch my resolution to 1440p, and my FPS doesn't move at all sometimes. So to save time in future Verdansk benchmarks, I might just neglect doing 1080p to save time, since it offers almost nothing except to point out that it's still broken after almost a year. I'll still test it, but if it's still the same or even worse FPS, I'll be sure to mention it in the video why it's been excluded. I have done all of the fixes like disabling game mode, editing the registry, setting the advanced configuration file correctly, and even modifying and testing a ton of settings in the NVIDIA control panel. Even overclocking the CPU, which seems to be a big part of the problem, doesn't help at all. This issue also doesn't seem to be affecting the standard Modern Warfare multiplayer or the Rebirth Island map. This is a Verdansk problem. In my Rebirth Island benchmark video, I was getting 200 to 250 FPS at 1080p with high settings. In Verdansk, I get in the 140s occasionally, and even 150s is pretty common at 1080p high. That is just ridiculously low for an RTX 3090. Now with that explanation out of the way, you might also notice some situations where the game allocates over 20 gigabytes of VRAM for Warzone. This is the amount that Warzone is telling Windows to dedicate to this game specifically. You might hear that it's not how much the game is actively using, and that's true, but it's still the amount that's been reserved for Warzone on this specific GPU because of that advanced configuration file with the default 0.85 memory scale. You can change this to something like 0.5 if you want the game to allocate somewhere around the 12 gigabyte mark at the max. That would be good in situations where you might be exporting the video in the background, but want to jump into Warzone to kill some time. A system like this allows for that kind of usage. You could also be recording with OBS at the same time, and it would probably be fine. As with my last videos, the complete system specs and timestamps can all be found in the description below. If you have any questions or concerns with my testing methodology, just let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time.
Tracking enemy.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Marking contract objective. Buy station identified. Buy station confirmed.